Today we will have a look on the requirements for effective performance in part 3. What part 3 is mainly concerned with, some sample questions and answers, and several questions for practice and tips to enhance your performance in part 3 of speaking. So, let us start today's lecture with the requirements for effective performance in part 3. In this part, you will be expected to do most of the talking. In this part, you have to give your views about general issues. Also, give your opinions whenever you are asked. And while speaking, describe each and every answer in detail. Try to contrast and compare the information whenever and wherever possible. Discuss situations as they were in the past by using the past tense. And for future events or situations, imagine them as they might be in the future. Lastly, do not repeat the information you supplied in the original talk that you gave in part 2. Though, if it is extremely important to repeat that, use the synonyms and paraphrase the sentences. So, these are the things that you require for good performance in part 3. Now, let us see what part 3 is mainly concerned with. They are mainly concerned with your ability to talk about a difficult question by guessing and using your imagination. Here, your ability to provide reason for specific point of view is also tested. They also test your ability of giving an example to support your point. So, overall, the test designers have set this part to test your skills to carry out a discussion on general topic. Now, let us see various examples for the questions in the part 3. Now, please note here that as I said earlier, that these questions will be related to the topic of cue card, I have taken the follow-up questions, that is part 3 questions based on the example cue card number 1 which we did in the last video. So please refer it if you have not done it yet for better understanding. Hence, let us start with the examples. The first question from the examiner is, tell me, what do you think are the greatest problems your country is facing at the present? The answer here depends on the individual perspective. But for the reference, you can see the sample answer. It goes like slow economic development, political instability, unemployment, and healthcare are the major issues most of the people in my country are really tired of. In my opinion, these are the most burning issues and the greatest problems we have in our country. In this answer, you might have noted that I have mentioned several problems and gave my opinion using the linker in my opinion. Now, let us see another question. Do you think things are likely to get better or worse in the future? Now here, if you have not paid attention to the first question, you might find it difficult to understand that what the examiner is referring to by saying things in the question. Now here we know the talk is about the problems in the environment. So we will answer accordingly. Let us refer a sample response. We hope that the problem we have in our country would be resolved within the next few years. The government and other organizations are working hard to address these issues and we are noticing some signs of progress. So we can definitely be positive and wait for the glorious days when we will not have any of those issues. Here you can see that I have given an example of positive response, but you can give negative answers as it is completely fine. Also, note that I have used so to connect the last part of the answer. Now moving towards the next question. What has been done so far to solve these problems? In this question, you should mention all the actions that you are aware about that have been done to solve the given issue. Let us see the possible answer for this question. It goes like, government has taken many initiatives for the overall growth of country. According to the data, we are progressing, but I am unable to see the progress around me. I want to feel the progress. You can note that I have used the word initiatives and the conjunction that is but to make my speech smoother. Now this brings us to the part where you guys need to work. As you can see, there are the questions for the practice. These questions are related to the example cue card number 2 from the video of speaking part 2. Try to use the connectors and the linking words and give the total description of each and every question. Also, record your speech to rectify your own errors. Now pause the recording and have a practice of the question. So this brings us to the last part of today's lecture, that is tips to improve your score in speaking part 3. Firstly, give your opinion, reason and example. This is the easiest format you can follow to give a completely detailed answer. Next is, ask the examiner to repeat if you fail to understand the question. It is completely fine because if you give the answer of the question that you have not understood, you will give incorrect response and that will lower your band score. And lastly, the biggest trap for most of the students in this part is the question asked in different tenses. If you fail to hear was, were, is, are and will in the sentence, you will give answer in the different tense and you will lose your score in grammatical range and accuracy section. So keep concentration all the time, and if you are asked to talk about the future, do not overuse the word will. There are many substitutes for will like may, can, might, shall, but make sure that you use them correctly. Lastly, the key to success in part 3 is having group discussion with your friends, because by discussing, you will start giving long, elaborate explanation of your ideas. I hope this lecture is understood by you. Also, all the 3 parts of speaking are same for academic and general training IELTS. If you have any queries related to whatever is discussed so far, please write in the comment section below. We will respond at our earliest convenience. This is the last video for the speaking module. Thank you for joining with us. All the best for your exam. I will see you in the next class.